separate but equal Quickie. You're probably familiar with the case of Plessy v. Ferguson, where Homer Plessy was arrested for being in a white rail car while black, and where the Supreme Court made their infamous separate but equal decision upholding segregation. Here's the part you're probably not aware of. Plessy was an organized test case. Plessy himself was 1/8 black, fair-skinned, but black enough to count under the law. The East Louisiana Railroad, just like many other railroad companies, actually opposed the law because it was costly and bad for business. So, working with Plessy, they allowed him to sit in a car for whites, feigning ignorance of his race. They were assisted by a group of blacks, whites, and Creoles called the Committee of Citizens, who hired a private detective with arrest powers to order Plessy to vacate the rail car and, when he refused, as had been planned from the beginning, arrest him. The railroad company, Plessy, the Committee of Citizens, and the private detective were all working together in opposition of the law, specifically to challenge it in the hopes of ending segregation. Everything went exactly to plan until they went in front of Judge John Howard Ferguson. He threw out Plessy's petition and the Louisiana Supreme Court upheld it. It still would have been fine if the Supreme Court had actually done their job, which of course they didn't. But this is the lesson. The only ones who were the racists, who were insisting on segregation, were the government. Not Plessy, not the railroad company, not the committee, and not the private detective. The only people involved in this case who were for segregation were judges. It was government and only government and their cronies who were the racists insisting on segregation. Never forget that.